Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya His Divine Grace Abhay Charanarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki, Grantha Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Kaliyuga Pavan Shri Hare Ram Sankirtan ki. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudiraya Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishtiki. Hare Krishna. Good morning. We will be reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 3, chapter entitled Krishna is the source of all incarnation, text number 6. Saiva Prathamam Deva Kumaram Sargamashrita Chachara Duscharam Brahmacharyam Akhandita Duscharam Brahmacharyam Akhandita. Word-to-word meaning, translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Abhay Charanarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki sa, that, eva, certainly, prathamam, first, deva, Supreme Lord, Kumaram, named the Kumaras, unmarried, Sargam, creation, Ashrita, under, Chachara, perform, Dushcharam, very difficult to do, Brahma, in the order of Brahman, Brahmacharyam, under discipline to realize the absolute, Brahman. Akhanditam, unbroken. Translation. First of all, in the beginning of creation, there were the four unmarried sons of Brahma, the Kumaras, who, being situated in a vow of celibacy, underwent severe austerities for realization of the absolute truth. The creation of the material world is effected, maintained, and then again annihilated at certain intervals. So there are different names of the creation in terms of particular types of Brahma, the father of the living beings in the creation. The Kumaras, as above mentioned, appeared in the Kaumara creation of the material world. And to teach us the process of Brahman realization, they underwent a severe type of disciplinary action as bachelors. These Kumaras are empowered incarnations, and before executing the severe type of disciplinary actions, all of them became qualified Brahmanas. This example suggests that one must first acquire the qualification of a Brahmana, not simply by birth but also by quality, and then one can undergo the process of Brahman realization. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनीति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna. So from yesterday, there was like incarnation of Supreme Personality of Godhead was discussed in previous shloka. Where various kind of incarnations were discussed, like the Guna Avatar, Purusha Avatar, Leela Avatar, Manvantar Avatar, Yuga Avatar, and Shaktavesh Avatar. So in course of doing that, Prabhupada was mentioning in the purport about the different Manvantar avatar, like Lord, which all like Manvantar avatar came in each Manvantar. Like Yagna was the Manvantar avatar in Swayambhu Manu's Manvantar. Vibhu was in the Swarachisha Manu's Manvantar. So in this way, different Manvantar avatar was mentioned. And then different Yuga avatars were mentioned with their colors. And then Prabhupada mentioned that all the incarnations of Lord is mentioned in scriptures. Like scriptures mentions about all the incarnations of Lord, right? And then towards the end, Srila Prabhupada mentioned, apart from the direct incarnation, there are innumerable empowered incarnations like the Shaktavesh avatar. They are also mentioned in the revealed scripture. Such incarnations are directly as well as indirectly empowered. So they are empowered. They are given the potency by Lord. Like in few before few classes, Radhashyam Prabhu's one lecture was getting played. Over there, Prabhu was mentioning that how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sometimes he himself appeared, sometimes he acted with his devotees, sometimes he created avesh in his devotees. Sometimes he was himself there, sometimes he was himself acting through his devotees, and sometimes he was giving them special potency. So here that kind of thing is mentioned. When they are directly empowered, they are called incarnations. When they are indirectly empowered, they are called vibhutis. They have certain potency by which they are acting. Directly empowered incarnations are Kumara, Narada, Prithu, Shesha, Ananta, etc. As far as vibhutis are concerned, they are very explicitly described in Bhagavad Gita as Vibhuti Yoga chapter. So there are different vibhutis of the Lord are mentioned. And they are the directly embodied incarnations are Narada, Kumara, Prithu, Shesha, Ananta, etc. So here about Kumaras it is mentioned, and it is mentioned Sa eva Prathamam Deva. So the first incarnation, empowered incarnation or the Shaktavish incarnation that Lord took was that of the Kumara, Sa eva Prathamam Deva. So they are also the empowered incarnation of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Kumaram Sargam Ashrita. Kumaram Sargam Ashrita. So Sarga means creation, right? So there are 10 aspects of Srimad Bhagavatam, as we all know. Atra Sarga Visargascha, Sthanam Poshana Muti, Manvantara Ishanukata, Nirodha Mukti Rashraya. So these 10 factors are described in Srimad Bhagavatam. In that, the first aspect is creation. So in that creation, there are different phases of creation. Like when we construct say a room or a building, it has got different phases. So similarly, this huge creation was also done in various phases by Supreme Personality of Godhead, and after that Brahmaji, and after that, down the line there are many portions, and there are many maintainers, there are many proprietors, but all of them are subservient to Lord. At one point of time, when Srila Prabhupada was asked by some of his disciples that Prabhupada, what will happen if there is an atomic bomb blast, if there is a nuclear war? Because when there is a nuclear war, like everybody will be, they will be using the nuclear weapon. So the whole world will be destroyed. Then Prabhupada said, then nothing much will happen. Right after the whole destruction, the demigods will descend and they will just rectify the whole situation, and the creation will start rolling in its own pace. So Prabhupada mentioned this. So in that way we can also see that the demigods are also in charge of various creation and maintenance. So one of the phase of creation was the Komaram Sarga. That is the time when Kumaras were created. Ashrita. Like it was during that time that Kumaras created. And what did the Kumaras do? Cha Achara Dusharam. So their achar, their activities were very difficult. What was the difficult activity? Brahma Brahmacharya Makhandita. They were celibates, they were brahmacharis, but not in the order of devotional service. Rather, they were brahmacharis in the order of impersonal Brahman realization. Brahma Brahmacharyam Akhanditam. So that is very difficult. Like once, like if somebody goes to Kumbh Mela, Haridwar, Rishikesh, there they will see many sadhus who are in impersonal practices. At the same time, they are practicing the vow of celibacy, brahmacharya. So it is like very tough, and that will never be like an aspect of inspiration unless and until one is very purified with tapasya and all. They'll never feel inspired to practice. However, the brahmachari ashram that Srila Prabhupada gave us, or Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur gave us, it is like a bigger family. It is like, that same aspect of familial love, familial affection. Everything is there. It is not based on austerity, rather, it's based on devotion. Like how the devotees are like 24 hours, they are trying to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the association of devotees. So, in that way, it is not dushcharam, it is kind of sukaram, it is kind of practicable. So for the Kumaras, Prabhupada wrote in the purport that before executing severe type of disciplinary action, all of them became qualified Brahmanas. So the Kumaras, when Brahmaji created them, before taking up their role as a mendicant and roaming in different places and instructing others about spiritual practices, before doing that, they themselves secured their devotional life. They themselves became Brahmanas. So Prabhupada added one very important sentence, that it is not by birth but by quality that one has to become Brahmana. Because these Kumaras, they were born from the greatest Brahman, that is Brahmaji himself. Brahmaji is the greatest Brahman, with his whole body made up of intelligence. But still, even after taking birth from such a celebrated father, that too from his mind, no, this Kumaras still went through severe austerities and penances. So it is not by birth but by qualification. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 12th chapter, 4th verse, it is mentioned how, with what intention Brahmaji created these four Kumaras. What are their names? So it is mentioned Sanakam cha Sanandam cha Sanatanam Athatma Bhu Sanat Kumaram cha Munin Nishkriyan Urdhvaretasa. So Brahmaji created these four sages, Sanat, Sanatan, Sanandan and Sanat Kumar. All of them are unwilling to adopt materialistic activities because they were highly elevated due to their semen flowing upwards. They are all Urdhvaretasa. Now, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada gave very beautiful detailed purport to this. Prabhupada said, he therefore created four, actually Brahmaji created four principles of knowledge. So what are the four principles of knowledge? The first one is Sankhya, or the empirical philosophy for the analytical study of material condition. So this is the first one. Then Yoga, or mysticism for liberation, mystic yoga practice basically. And then Vairagya, the acceptance of complete detachment from material enjoyment in life to elevate oneself to highest spiritual understanding. And Tapasya, or Tapas, or the various kind of voluntary austerities performed for spiritual perfection. So Brahmaji, it is like Prabhupada mentioned, that just before the creation of the Kumaras, we can see that Brahmaji created different niscient creations, like all those were like in ignorance, right? So Brahma was not very happy about those kind of creation that he did. So because of that, like to take living entities out from those kind of nascent activities, Brahmaji gave Sankhya, Yoga, Vairagya, and Tapasya. And to teach this four, Sankhya, Yoga, Vairagya, and Tapasya, Brahma created four Kumaras: Sanak, Sanatan, Sananda, Sanatan, and Sanat Kumar. Brahma created this four Kumaras who will be taking care of each of these four aspects for the people in general. And thereby Brahma asked them that you now procreate, but they said no, that they are not going to do, and they will just become celibate monks, and they will just continue practicing brahmachari and teaching others. So in that way they formed a sampradaya that is called Kumara Sampradaya, one of the very very famous Vaishnava sampradayas that we all know, right? And that's how these Kumaras were the practicing impersonalists. And because of practicing impersonalists, they were like personified mystic yoga. In the prayers of Prithu Maharaj, we can see Prithu Maharaj section, it is mentioned when these four Kumaras they appeared, Prithu Maharaj felt that the mystic yoga has taken the personified form of these four Kumaras, and these four Kumaras have appeared to him. So when the sages got the desire that let us go to the Vaikuntha planets where the Supreme Personality of Godhead is residing, so with that desire they started moving towards the Vaikuntha planets. And when they reached the Vaikuntha planets, because of mystic performance, they felt great happiness. So here one can understand they went to Vaikuntha planets not to serve Supreme Personality of Godhead, but just to have his darshan, and they were himself feeling the happiness, right? And when with this desire they entered Vaikuntha planets, they were captivated naturally by the beauty of Vaikuntha planets, And while entering, going through the Vaikuntha planets, they crossed six doors without any hindrance. But on the seventh door, they were obstructed by the Dwarpalas, Jaya and Vijaya. And when Jaya and Vijaya found that these two boys were these four boys, they were like looking like a small child. They were not like great devotee of Lord, or like the conventional description was not fitting into them. They just stopped them. And because they were stopped, they were very angry. And immediately it is mentioned in the shloka that the brother of desire appeared in the hearts of these four Kumaras. And who is the brother of desire? The brother of desire is anger. When anger is not fulfilled, desire is not fulfilled, then anger arises. So Prabhupada wrote, even in the heart of great impersonalist, this anger exists. Why? Because of desire. And because these desires are not fulfilled, ultimately there is anger. Because unless and until living entity comes in contact with the devotional service of the Lord, till that time his various desires keep on popping up time and again, and that keep on disturbing or dragging the living entities in different other directions. So to save living entities from getting carried away in different direction, one must fix their mind thoroughly on the path of devotional service. And because Kumaras, they are the Acharyas, with their own potency, they showed how this is important. Aponi Achari Prabhu Jibere Shikhai. With their own activities, they showed, with their own achar, they showed that they were impersonalists, they made a mistake, they got rectified, they became devotees, so now they were realized. And with this realization, they were preaching Krishna consciousness to everyone. So when they were stopped by the two Dwarpalas, they immediately became very angry. And now till now Jayan Vijaya was considering that they are small children. But the moment they started speaking and hurling curses, they could realize that no, they are not small children, but they are a great realized sadhus or saints, right? So with Vani, with words, one has to identify a sadhu not by external. Now, Jaya and Vijay, being situated in Vaikuntha as an eternal servant of Lord. Now, Jaya Vijay's service is like quite eternal. It's not interim that somehow they got over there because no one was there. It's not like that. They're the eternal servants of Lord, and they're eternally present. Even in like all traditional temples, we see like in Jagannath Puri or Tirupati Balaji or like Srirangam or Badrikashram, we can see Jai Vijay Dwar or Jai Vijay's form. So they are specially installed, like Jai Vijay is installed on the gate, right? So Jai Vijay's service is quite kind of eternal, and they are just not ordinary. So one has to understand that this is the desire of Lord only, that Jai Vijaya got captivated with the externals of these four Kumaras. Lord has the desire to glorify the four Kumaras, to propagate the teachings of the four Kumaras, and he has a desire to incarnate himself in this world. So many desires Lord is fulfilling through his action and through his planning. And here the four Kumaras and Jai Vijay both acted as an instrument of Lord's arrangements, right? So then Jai Vijay started telling how come these two servants of Lord, the Chatush Kumar, they started telling how come these two servants of Lord who are staying in Vaikuntha, which is a place of harmony, act so inharmoniously, right? Why they are not in harmony? So the Vaikuntha means that things are properly placed and there is no confusion. There is clarity. But they are confused. They are saying even though they are in Vaikuntha, they are confused, right? So when they said that when they found that they are in Vaikuntha and still confused, then they said better you go to material world, which is a world of confusion only, right? So they said, let us therefore consider how these two contaminated persons should be punished. So this is another contamination when one thinks that how contaminated person has to be punished. And they are thinking the punishment should be apt, for thus benefit can eventually be bestowed upon them. Now, because of the atmosphere of Vaikuntha, because of the practice of tapasya and renunciation, even though they were in the mood of giving punishment, they were thinking of the benefit of them, right? So this is the mood of Chatush Kumar, who is like an incarnation of Lord as well, right? So in the different incarnations of Lord, sometimes we see certain incompleteness is visible, but these incompletenesses are very very apparent. It really does not exist. Like for Vyasadev, we see that how Vyasadev got so upset because of not glorifying Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he is himself a literary incarnation of Lord. Then there is no need of getting something externally. But still, Vyasdev was waiting for Narad Muni to dispel his doubts. And Narad Muni appeared to him, and Narad Muni started instructing him. And following the instructions of Narad Muni, Vyasdev started glorifying Vyasadev, Krishna. He started glorifying Krishna through Srimad Bhagavatam, and that is how he was relieved of his dissatisfaction. No, Vyasadev being self-sufficient Lord, being the incarnation of Lord, there was no need to do this, but still Vyasadev acted in such a way. Similarly, these four Kumaras, they were also the incarnation of Lord. There should not be this kind of confusion, but still they showed this that after getting the association of Supreme Personality of Godhead, after entering into Vaikuntha atmosphere, their heart got transformed. So this is to glorify devotional service, the position of Guru, and the impact of Lord. Now, in one prayer, Prahlad Maharaj was mentioning to Nrsimhadev that when somebody chants your name, then he gets immediately free from all material desires. So when it is mentioned like this, I was hearing one lecture, and in that it was mentioned that we should not feel that Prahlad Maharaj has got material desires within his heart, and that is the reason he is saying this. However, he is glorifying the glories. He is glorifying the names of Lord. That how when somebody utters, when somebody takes the names of Lord, then his material desires will get dispelled from the heart. That is what Prahlad Maharaj is emphasizing upon. So sometimes these kind of things are mentioned or stated so that glorification can happen. Like we all know, there is a famous glorification of Purushottam Kshetra mentioned in Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, that even if somebody takes fish in the land of Purushottam Kshetra, that will give the fall of eating Havishanya, right? So it's not that somebody will start eating fish in Jagannath Puri, Purushottam Kshetra to get the effect of Havishanya. Rather, it is the process of glorifying Purushottam Kshetra that the Kshetra is so celebrated, the Kshetra is so elevated that even when somebody eats fish, which is so abominable, still one will not get incur the results of sinful activities. So, with this scripture is giving an encouragement to every practitioner, stating that then what will be the fall, what will be the effect of having Jagannath Mahaprasad in Purushottam Kshetra. So that's how the Chatush Kumar acted in this way. They started cursing, and because of this curse, ultimately what happened? The Supreme Personality of Godhead appeared. So it is very beautifully mentioned that how Supreme Personality of Godhead appeared to the four Kumaras. So it is third canto, 15th chapter, 37 verse. Evam tadaiva bhagavan arabindanaha swanam vibudhya sat atikrama marya ridyaha tasmin yayau paramahamsa mahamuninam anveshaniya charanau chalayan sashriya. So how Lord appeared at that very moment. The Lord who is called Padmanabha, right? Because of the lotus grown from his navel, and who is the delight of the righteous. So Lord is one who delights the righteous. When Lord came, both Jai Vijay was delighted, and the four sages, or the four Kumaras, they were also delighted. Learned about the insult offered by his own servant to the saints. So Lord came, and Lord got to know what happened. Accompanied by his spouse, the goddess of fortune, he went to the spot on those very feet sought for by the recluses and great sages. So it is after great deliberation, Lord usually appears to give benediction to someone. But here we can see Lord himself appeared without much endeavor even. Lord appeared. Lord appeared and he gave his darshan to the four Kumaras and he saved his own servants, right? So this is the glory of the four Kumaras, that even their anger also invoked the presence of Lord. So that is the reason we can understand the anger that the four Kumaras exhibited was not ordinary. It was very, very special. And what did the four Kumaras saw? For the first time, they were seeing Vishnu. Till now, they were reading about Vishnu, right? But for the first time, they were seeing Vishnu, and they were mystic yoga practitioners, right? So, till now, they got the darshan of Vishnu within their hearts. But Prabhupada is writing, getting darshan of Lord within heart and seeing Lord face to face in front is not different. So, what is the description that they are seeing? तं तु आगतं प्रतिऋतौपैकं स्वपुंभि ते चक्षतक्षविषयं स्वसमाधिभाग्यम् हंसाश्रियोर्व्यजनयो शिववायुलोल शुभ्रत्रपात्रशशिकेशर शिखरम्बम्. The sages headed by Sanak Rishi saw the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu, who was formerly visible only within their heart in ecstatic trance. So Lord was visible to them, but now he has come actually in front of their eyes, become visible to their eyes. As he came forward, accompanied his own associates, bearing all paraphernalia such as an umbrella and a chamara fan, the white bunches of hair moved very gently like two swans, and due to their favorable breeze, the pearls garlanding the umbrella also moved like drops of nectar falling from the white full moon or ice melting due to gust of wind. So it is a very beautiful description of the different paraphernalias of Lord. It was like, the associates, the spouse of the Lord, like Lakshmi Devi, and the different servants of the Lord, like Nanda, Sunanda, and all. They were all around, and there was like Chamara, which was used to fan Lord, and there is a very beautiful umbrella which is white in color with pearl drops hanging from them. Like this description of umbrella, also we get in Krishna Leela, where the after Govardhan pastime, when the demigods, all the demigods did a special Abhishek of Lord in Govardhan. So there also this special description of this fan was mentioned, and this fan, if I'm not wrong, this was presented to Lord by Varuna. Varun Dev actually presented this beautiful fan to the Lord. So we can see that Lord maintains the gift, right? He just accepts the gift and maintains the gift. So in this verse, we find the word Achataksha Vishayan. The Supreme Lord cannot be seen by ordinary eyes, but he now became visible to the eyesight of the Kumaras. So now he is visible. Another significant word is Samadhi Bhagyam. Meditators who are very fortunate can see the Vishnu form of the Lord within the heart by following the yogic process. But to see him face to face is different matter. This is only possible for pure devotees. Because the Lord who is situated in the heart, there is only relishment. Only somebody is seeing the Lord, the mystic yogi sees the Lord, and there is just a, like, it's just like somebody is seeing some photo of the Lord in mobile phone and all. So what best can happen? They'll get some pleasure of eyes. But when somebody is coming to the temple, serving the Lord, so when the Lord is directly in front, then there is opportunity of service. So the mystic yogis, they do not get the opportunity to serve Lord directly. But the devotees of the Lord, they get the opportunity to serve the Lord directly. That is the reason the favor that the devotees get is much elevated than what the yogis get, right? The Kumaras, therefore, upon seeing the Lord coming forward with his associate, who were holding an umbrella and a charmed fan, were struck with wonder. They were like stuck, shocked. And later on, as we know, that they offered obeisances to the Lord. And while offering obeisances, they took the fragments of the Tulasi offered to the Lord. And the heart was completely fulfilled. And that is the reason one very beautiful description comes in Navdeep Dham Mahatma, where Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote. He said, দূর হইতে বিলখিবে বিল্ব পক্ষ বন যথা গৌর ধ্যানে আছে ঋষি চতুষ্ষণ নিতাই বিলাস ভূমি দেখিবে সুদূর যথা সংকর্ষণ ক্ষেত্র বিজ্ঞ জনে স্ফুরে. So it is mentioned the Bilva Paksha Ban or the modern day Belpukur in Navadvip Mayapur. Whenever we go in the Shimantwadip, we get this Belpukur gram. Actually, it is between Rudradvip and Shimantwadip. So once Nimbarkacharya, who was previously a Shiv Bhakta, he was meditating on Shivji. And Shivji asked him to go to this Vilva Paksha Ban of Navadvip. He asked him to go over there and to get the association of the four Kumaras. And when they came to this Vilva Paksha Ban of Navadvip Mayapur, this Nimbarkacharya, he got the darshan of these four Kumaras who were situated over there, and they were reciting the glories of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Nimbarkacharya there, he got the mercy from the four Kumaras, and by the mercy of four Kumaras, Nimbarkacharya also got the darshan of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Navadvip Dham, as it is mentioned by Bhaktivinoda Thakur in Navadvip Dham Mahatmya book. So these four Kumaras, sometimes it is mentioned that they are the direct disciples of Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Lord, from his own heart, he manifested a form of Shaligram Shila, and he gave this to these four Kumaras, and they worshipped it. And this Shaligram Shila is worshipped in disciplic succession. So there is one Nimbarka Kshetra where this Shaligram Shila is still worshipped, which was given by Lord to these four Kumaras. So in this way, from Srimad Bhagavatam, we know that these four Kumaras were the first creation of the Komara Sargam of creation, and they practiced, like apparently started with Brahmacharyam, this practice, and later on they became pure devotees, and this they preached the cult of Krishna consciousness through Nimbarka Sampradaya. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki.